On July 19, 2019, Zimbabwe cricket came to a standstill when they were suspended by the ICC due to the increasing political intervention by the government of the country and were prohibited from taking any further part in the ICC events. But the ICC lifted their ban less than 3 months later on 14th of October 2019. Last month in April, Zimbabwe beat Pakistan in a T20. It was considered a big upset, and while the Pakistani experts, analysts and YouTubers were crying their balls out, I could not help myself and think about the golden period of Zimbabwe cricket from the mid-90s to the early 2000s. How great that team would have been. Me being an ardent watcher of cricket since 2003 hasn't really experienced that golden period of Zimbabwe cricket live and really wish to see them rise from the ashes once again. Hence, I decided to make a video about this topic, about the rise and the eventual fall of Zimbabwe cricket. So hello guys, welcome to the channel, and today we are going to talk about the rise and the eventual demise and fall of cricket in Zimbabwe. But before looking at the golden period of Zimbabwe cricket, let's take a deep dive into their full history. Zimbabwe, prior to the independence, were known as Rhodesia and used to play in the South African domestic tournament, the Currie Cup, till their independence on 18th of April 1980, and became an associate member of ICC in the year 1981. They first took part in a major tournament in the year 1983 in the World Cup and caused a major upset as they defeated Australia by 13 runs, and also had India down in one of their games as India was reeling at 17 for 5 and steering towards a sure shot defeat until that special Kapil Dev innings happened of 175 runs, and India went on to win the match by 31 runs and were the eventual World Cup winners. Well, the 1987 World Cup was a big disappointment as they went on to lose all their games. In the 1992 World Cup held in Australia, they caused a major upset as they defeated the eventual finalists England, defending a mere 134 runs successfully in one of the major upsets and one of the greatest upsets in the history of cricket till now. In the same year, ICC granted them Test status and Zimbabwe became the 9th official Test playing nation. It was a big step in the history of Zimbabwe cricket. The 1996 World Cup was a disappointment by the standards of Zimbabwe, as they were only able to defeat Kenya, and with the kind of team they were starting to build, they were expected to perform much better than this. But all was about to change, and a new age in Zimbabwe cricket was about to begin. The period from 1997 to 2002 is often regarded as the golden period of Zimbabwe cricket. The most talented bunch of cricketers all came together to form one of the greatest teams ever. They had the great brother pairing of Andy and Grant Flower, who scored more than 6,000 runs each, and also Andy Flower was the number 1 ranked batsman at a certain point of time. All-rounders like Heath Streak and Andy Plignott, pacers like Henry Olonga and Neil Johnson, spinners like Ado Brantis and Paul Strang, and great batsmen like Alistair Campbell and Murray Goodwin. During this period, they conquered new frontiers. They beat all test playing nations except for Australia. They beat India in one of test match in Harare, won a 3-match series against Pakistan away from home, but their real success came in the shorter format. They became a real force to be reckoned with in the ODI format, whitewashing England 3-0, drawing a series against New Zealand, while they also reached the finals of the Coca-Cola Cup, defeating India in the qualifying round to qualify for the finals. But eventually they lost the final to the same team. But they had found a new star in the form of Henry Olonga in this series. Arriving at the 1999 World Cup in England, Zimbabwe were no jokes. There were no pushovers this time. They had match winners up and down the lineup. And as expected, they finished 5th in the World Cup, narrowly missing out on a semi-final spot. But they did manage to defeat big powerhouses like India and the eventual semi-finalist South Africa. But Zimbabwe did not stop just there. They continued with their run of form even after the 99 World Cup. In the 2000s, when Zimbabwe returned to England for a tri-series between the hosts England, Zimbabwe and West Indies, Zimbabwe pulled off one of the greatest chases against West Indies in the same series. Needing 83 runs in 9 overs, they were able to chase it down with 5 balls left. It was one of the greatest chases in the history of cricket and one of the biggest wins for Zimbabwe. Not only did they win this match, but they also topped the table in the group stages, but lost out in the finals to the eventual winners England. Zimbabwe cricket was now finding new players and heroes everywhere. Similarly, in a match against Australia, needing 303 runs, they just missed out by 1 run and scored 301. But they found a new hero here in the form of Douglas Marilier, who is widely regarded as the real inventor of scoop shot, who scored 12 runs of just 5 balls but wasn't able to connect off the last ball. But when the opportunity presented him again, this time against India, he didn't miss out. With 8 down at 210, needing 65 to win, he scored a magical 56 of 24 balls and took Zimbabwe home to win the match by 1 wicket. Zimbabwe now big boys in town and all set to host the 2003 ICC Cricket World Cup. Things looked all positive from here on. But then what happened? Find out in part 2 of the series, The Fall of Zimbabwe Cricket.